Part 8. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 71. Result. It's not a first grade test paper. It seemed like someone was taking out the trash, because there were words from the XX question bank on the dropped test paper. In other words, I don't know who integrated the questions from the question bank, and then just changed the name of the test paper and threw it down. But it has nothing to do with the test papers you bought. So, this is not a leak. The lunch break is not very long, so let's deal with it first, Horikita said. Members of the student union have already come over with brooms and dustpans to deal with it. So, Horikita participated in the activity of cleaning up garbage with the members of the student council. He admits. At the beginning, when Oreki was invited to join the student union, he discovered Nagamo's ambition. It is also a task assigned by the school. But Oreki rejected him. But at the beginning of this month, Oreki showed a confrontation with Nagamo, which made Horikita hesitate. And last month, in the last special examination for the third grade, the scores of the 4 classes changed strangely. To be precise, third grade Class B received foreign aid. Among the 4 classes, only Class B, Grade 3, did not have any points deducted and kept up the good work. In one fell swoop, he scored a class evaluation score of 280 points. The third-year Class B that Horikita knew was not that strong. In other words, it is very likely that Nagamo started to interfere in the third grade. If it were a natural and normal competition in the third grade, he would have nothing to say. But Nagamo clearly wanted to use the strength of the entire second grade, which was too much. At the same time, Nagamo's target is probably the student council president. He still knew this. And Nagamo becoming the student council president may be a disaster for this school. So when Oreki took the initiative to invite him and Nagamo to be present at the same time today and then revealed the topic, he knew that he could try to cooperate with Oreki Houtarou, and maybe he could get a good reward. And this return is okay. And the other side. Oreki succeeded but did not retreat. After separating from Horikita, he walked to the side path. And now. He clicked on his student ID card. His points are as good as ever. Name, Houtarou Oreki. Class, Grade A, First Grade. Student ID, 100-861-0010. Private account, 21.099 million points. Have huge points. The main mission of collecting 20 million points has been completed. But he clicked on the side mission. Sideline hidden mission. Side mission requirement, destroy Chibashira SAE's ambition. Assignment deadline remaining, 1 week. Mission reward, the teleportation ability is improved, and the restriction of teleportation to the places you have been to is lifted. You can go directly if you have specific longitude and latitude, or have seen photos of the real thing. Task penalty, none. So. Now there is another mission here to defeat Chibashira Sensei's ambition. He is an energy saver. If one arrow can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, then it is natural to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The thing about throwing test papers and trash just now can be applied to Nagamo and Chibashira. So Oreki took out the other phone in his pocket, Horikita Suzun's phone. Diddy. Horikita-san's cell phone was turned off by him. And now it's probably time for Chibashira Sensei's endurance to reach its limit. So he turned it back on. Diddy. As expected of Chibashira Sensei. After opening Horikita Suzun's mobile phone, 68 missed calls were displayed. And these missed calls are all messages from the same person, SAE Chibashira. In other words, when he found out that the test papers were leaked, Teacher Chibashira's mentality probably exploded on the spot. But it seems that the test paper was discovered again and was not leaked. So I felt at ease for a while. So, there was a gap of a few minutes in between. Anyway, the fact that the other party made 68 phone calls can already explain a lot. Oreki clicked on the message function. Chibashira-sensei, how are you feeling? Diddy. The phone vibrated again, and Sae Chibashira seemed to be making another call. I don't want to talk to you right now. Oreki typed. Please chat with me via text message. 3 seconds. The phone vibrated again. Chazu. Horikita, your wings are stiff. I looked at your location and you are in the physics laboratory. It seems that you know the rules of this school very well. But I was just taking out the trash, not leaking the topic, so there is no point in catching me. Rather, Chibashira-sensei, why did you lie to me? There are only 100,000 points in the point card. Does that mean I am only worth 100,000 points? Nothing makes people feel more underestimated than this. Oreki continued typing. It would be basically impossible for Horikita Suzun to clean Chibashira alone. Chibashira himself used to take Class D to fly to Class A. Although he failed, he also brought him to the position of Class B. In other words, Chibashira is an experienced person after all. And Horikita-san is still a little chick, and can't even fly yet. So there is no confrontation at all. Otherwise, he wouldn't look autistic. Are you really Horikita Suzun? Although Chibashira just sent a text, it seems that she can predict her frown. Because Chibashira moved out. You have to know that I am the sister of the top student in this school. After all, he is my brother. He is so good as a sister, I at least have something to look forward to. Also, it's useless for you to threaten me with your brother. Indeed, I am useless and will get him into trouble. Every month he would also send me 50,000 points to use as living expenses. However, this is also a sign that my brother is still paying attention to me. Is this also a sign of your brother paying attention to you? That is to say, Chibashira. She wanted to use their brother-sister relationship to threaten Horikita Suzun. Did Horikita Manabu find out? Indeed. She was nearby now, and Horikita Manabu could be seen sweeping up trash with other student council members. Manabu Horikita was indeed present. And Horikita Manabu is said to be the best student council president in history. To say he is kind is a kindness, but it is definitely not a fuel-efficient lamp. The system of the student union is different from that of the faculty and staff. Even the teachers or class teachers are not enough in front of the student union president. The student union can also command teachers to some extent. So, Chibashira really couldn't do anything to Horikita Manabu, but he might be attacked by the opponent. Indeed, it was a very risky thing for her to rashly reveal the brother-sister relationship between Horikita Manabu and Horikita Suzun. Horikita Suzun may still be a little immature, but her brother is different. Chibashira didn't know the relationship between the two, but felt that the two had similar aspects and the same last name, and Horikita Suzun's points could continue to skyrocket and even become huge. Made her pay attention. In fact, Chibashira is obsessed with Class D being promoted to Class A. She wanted to complete her obsession that she had not completed in the past. However, I have never encountered the opportunity. This year is actually similar. Class D clearly obtained the school rules on the first day of enrollment, and the final class evaluation score was deducted to 0 points. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 72. She is also desperate. Under such circumstances, she decided not to give up. Result. It was the morning of May 1st when the phone call from outside the school came in, letting her know something. In addition to the students who cannot be helped and the problem students in my class, there is another person who is unique. That is, Ayanokaji Kiyotaka. Ayanokaji's father called in and asked Ayanokaji to drop out of school in a coercive tone. He said that this kind of rubbish school is not a place where Ayanokaji Kiyotaka can show his strength. In other words, Ayanokaji Kiyotaka is actually very cool. Chibashira had no idea that there was a dark horse hidden in his class. So, we found each other. After knowing that his father's call had come in, Ayanokaji chose to give up and continue to be ordinary, but he was not willing to lead a class. The request is that how to lead a class that can deduct all 1000 points in a month. Then Chibashira thought of Horikita Suzune. So there was a move to trick Horikita Suzune into taking charge of the class. As long as Horikita Suzune integrates the class and brings her to Class B, or lets Ayanokaji Kiyotaka see that this class can be saved, then that's fine. Result. The plan has not yet fully unfolded, but Horikita Suzune, who was the first chess piece, has actually given up her burden. If you're talking about points, I have nothing to say. I'm just a teacher of Class D and was the class teacher for the last 3 years. But the salary is not high, and I also need to spend money on school. So it's normal that I don't have enough points in my points card. But if you can bring your class along, my salary will also go up. It may not take long to save 5 million. Chibashira sensei's message was quickly sent. Oreki-san found a place to sit down. Chibashira said before that he wanted Suzune Horikita to fly to Class B with Class D, and now after being exposed, he said they would save money together. A win-win situation for everyone. Therefore, this teacher Chibashira wanted to have sex for free from the beginning. But it's a pity, Chibashira-sensei. Your trump card is your savings passbook. Oreki had already known this through the previous mission choice. Chibashira-sensei, it's impossible to climb up with Class D. Like just now, I threw away the trash. Your heart beat faster. You thought I leaked the questions. Once the questions are leaked and the school reissues the papers, half of the students in the class will be expelled directly because they failed. Do you think Class D can really handle that situation? I'm not looking down on anyone, but a class with so many scumbag students has no way of resisting the various written exams that may come next. Chibashira was silent. Who doesn't know? Because Class D is like this, students who are difficult to teach, or have all kinds of defects, sports waste, scumbags, etc., all gather here. So, the foundation is indeed not good. But I don't want to do it anymore. So I can give you a Class D clearance plan for free. Although most of the students in Class D have poor quality and poor foundation, if these students are removed, the overall quality of Class D will suddenly increase. So, although I am throwing away rubbish, you can arrange for someone to really talk about it. This kind of thing can't be done. Chibashira quickly responded to the message without hesitation. Right, because if you do this, then Class D is no longer Class D. Most of the students drop out and then only a few students remain. Then Class D became a special class for these students. Then I will give you a new plan. What is it? Chibashira asked quickly. Oreki typed. This is a plan that can only be done by Class D. Now the class evaluation score of Class D is 0 points, so as long as it is 0 points, no more points will be deducted. You can use all kinds of unscrupulous methods to weaken other classes. For example, if you fight or something, you will be deducted points at the same time. Then, Class D's score was reduced to 0, and the deduction was also 0, but it was different for other classes, and they were all implicated in the deduction of points. So as long as Class D is shameless enough, it can pull everyone to the same position as itself. And this plan, I call it a 0-point battle among the 4 classes. After all 4 classes become 0 points, in a sense, Class D also becomes Class A, right? Oreki typed quickly. Ha ha ha. But Chibashira quickly sent a message at this time. You're not Horikita Suzune, she's not that smart. Why do you say that? Because looking at her is like looking at me in the past. Oh. In other words, does Chibashira think he was quite stupid in the past? My understanding of myself is okay. Because to dwell on one failure for more than 10 years is irresponsible for the past and irresponsible for the future. Oreki didn't think this was a good thing. However, I would like to thank you for providing a good plan to Class D. Chibashira typed it quickly. The current score of Class D is 0, and the score gap with other classes is also too big. We can lower it a little first. Oreki also did the typing. Are you happy with this? Doing so will only cause the school to directly abolish Class D. Probably all the students in Class D have dropped out after all. If you keep disrupting the school's rules, then there will be no competition in the class. Once or twice is okay. However, if other classes want to bring down the enemy class, they only need to bribe Class D to fight with the other class. What is this? It will only be treated as a joke. So, the school will probably get rid of Class D. So, I thought about it for half the night. Chibashira-sensei, I'm sorry. Currently, there is no possibility of climbing up in Class D. After Oreki finished typing, he sent it directly. There seemed to be silence on the other side for a long time. Oreki is here to continue clicking on the interface for the expenditure line task. Look at the system prompts to see Chibashira's mood at the moment. But did he? Chibashira quickly sent another message. Then, if you are bought into Class D, what SAE Chibashira sent this time was a truly terrifying message. This was a system mission triggered by Oreki the night he met Horikita Manabu and asked Horikita Suzun to drop out of school. That is to say, SAE Chibashira was unscrupulous and kept the capital that could be used to adjust shifts. He used it as a trump card, and then he really knew how to use it. And now, is she going to buy him away? That makes no sense. Oreki confirmed that when he came to this school, the girls he met were indeed, basically not right. Because, even if I can fly Class D, can Class D fly by itself? No, it's just because of me. So Oreki paused while typing. But SAE Chibashira already understood. Buying someone else to join Class D, even though she belongs to Class D, what was her original wish? They were assigned to Class D by the school based on such standards, and then were judged as garbage. This made them refuse to accept it, and then they wanted to prove their strength. So climb up. I want the school to understand that it is the school that is wrong. Even students in Class D have value. And now, the person behind Horikita Suzun is going to be paid to come over? Indeed. It can be confirmed that the person behind Horikita Suzun is very strong. If he can be recruited, maybe Class D will really have a chance. Only. After all, the other party is from a foreign class. He was evaluated as a foreigner. So doing this is just an unreasonable solution that can't find a way out. The only option is for Class D people to save themselves. But Horikita Suzun has given up her burden, and Ayanokaji Kiyotaka needs Class D to be integrated and looks like he can be taken over, so he can be taken over. And the excuse she used to let Ayanokaji take charge of the class was that the other party's father was here, but as the class teacher, she could protect him. So let him rest assured, but he needs to lead the class. But if Ayanokaji really has the ability to lead a class, then he can definitely take the same path of 20 million points as Horikita Suzun. After collecting the points, run away directly. So, it would be even more meaningless at that time. So, she finds herself in a complicated situation. In this situation, she might not be able to find a solution for several nights. Oreki returned the phone to Horikita Suzun. But he also transferred 509,200 points to her in front of her. Horikita-san's job this time is to take out trash. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 73. Throw trash away from a distance. Of course, there is also an element of acting. Although she was just throwing garbage instead of directly leaking the question, if it was known that she wanted to do something like leaking the question, she would become the enemy of the entire first grade class. Just for this kind of thing. Are you disliked by students in the same grade? I'm not liked by them in the first place. Rather, to me, everyone else is just a human being. Why do I have to care about what others think of me? This is how Horikita-san responded at the time. Quite a loner. This makes Oreki-san feel that the Horikita-san who often dreams about becoming a lawyer is fake. In this event, 100,000 points were spent for Kushida to buy test papers. Then he also obtained the second grade and third grade test papers through other channels, but he only bought one subject each, so he only spent 8,000 points, which was almost negligible. And what he got from Nagayunya was 5.2 million points. So with a deduction, Horikita-san can get 520 minus 0.80 minus 10, x 10% equal 509,200. Kushida's remuneration is 5%. So much cheaper. At this time, Kushida-chan also arrived. Result. Horikita-san took her cell phone and left. Oreki also transferred 254,600 points to Kushida-san. An extra 54,600, Kushida said. I got some more points than expected, Oreki said. So your pay increases. Profound. That's it? For Kushida, he was very happy to get 200,000, and now it has increased, so it is a good thing. She had already gone to the shopping street and asked about it and got the point card. Although she is happy to make friends, she must also pay attention to counting her money and putting it away. So you can just scan the newly acquired points into the point card. But until both Horikita and Oreki left, Kushida looked a little confused. Because Oreki-san was very fast, he came very quickly, and he left very quickly. After paying, I left directly. But this time, what role did she play, and what changes did she bring about? Kushida-san doesn't understand at all. Although I heard that someone threw test papers down from the laboratory teaching building during lunch break. And the class wasn't going to explode like this, it didn't explode. Because ordinary students in Class D probably don't understand that if the test paper is leaked, the questions may be rewritten. So the test papers were not leaked and they didn't notice anything. Only Nanyunya looked at the school forum with a straight face. During lunch break, someone threw garbage out of character. Fortunately, it was not a test paper, but a sea of questions. Otherwise, the questions would have been leaked before the exam. Wouldn't that be terrible? At Nanyunya, someone saw you passing by the teaching building during your lunch break. Did you see who was so incompetent? Nanyun. Since gaining part-time permission, Oreki Houtarou, who has a real name, has gained quite a number of fans on the forum. Moreover, as soon as he opens his mouth, many people will spontaneously like it. Then, I clicked on the forum and found that this guy Oreki Houtarou was at him. Then he pointed out that he was nearby when the test paper was thrown down. Oreki Houtarou, you are going too far. Because doesn't this just seal the way he can get back points? Yes. Nanyun's small treasury was completely empty, and he was quite angry. But he also thought of a plan. Oreki threw garbage there, so there was no way to pursue it. But his treasury here is empty. So I want to pretend to sacrifice a second-year student, let him pretend to reveal the question, and then let him collect points from the second-year student. Fill your own little coffers. If Oreki says this, everyone will pay special attention to him. Therefore, even if you really pretend that someone is going to leak the question, and then collect points to protect the second graders, you can't do it. Oreki Houtarou and I are at odds with each other, Nagamo thought in his heart. By the way, Nanyun, You haven't eaten much recently, a second-year student suddenly said after seeing Nanyun's food in the cafeteria. Nanyun. Eat, eat, eat like shit. Because he has no points left. There are still 2 weeks until the points come in next month. He has 16,000 points on hand. What if he doesn't save some money? And borrowing from other people, I can't lose face, and I don't want to be embarrassed. If the girls tell him about the fact that he was knocked off, then he really doesn't want to lose face. And the next afternoon. Then that's the end of today's lesson. First grade class D is here. According to the curriculum, the last 2 classes on Monday and Wednesday afternoons were Mr. Chibashira's history class. As always, Chibashira-sensei's classes were as monotonous as ever. However, everyone knows that teacher Chibashira seems to be in a very bad state today. Horikita. However, when he was about to leave the classroom, Sae Chibashira looked in the direction of Horikita Suzune. Horikita Suzune stood up expressionlessly and followed the other person to the corridor. In fact, I feel a little uneasy. Chibashira used her relationship with her brother's sibling to threaten her. But Oreki caught the matter. Then yesterday, it was said that Chibashira's matter was settled. Then, she doesn't need to worry about Chibashira-sensei leaking her brother-sister relationship and causing trouble to her brother, right? So she followed Chibashira to the top floor. The place has become familiar. But Chibashira-sensei standing in front was completely different from the last time. Chibashira-sensei. Horikita watched the other person smoke 2 women's cigarettes in succession. Then he looked blankly at the sky. It seemed that he was reminiscing about something, and also seemed to be laughing at himself. It's okay, Chibashira turned around. It's just that a person suddenly lost his long-cherished wish, and then his mentality collapsed. So it's nothing. Oh. Nothing. Isn't this serious? Horikita Suzune's brows furrowed. If it's a psychological problem, you can go to the infirmary. The doctors in the infirmary are also responsible for psychological treatment, Horikita Suzune said. She has seen the school's publicity, and apart from the very good benefits given to graduating Class A, the school actually has very strong teachers. For example, health doctors in medical offices have quite a few qualifications. That's why she suggested so directly. Let Chibashira see a doctor. Let Chibashira see a psychiatrist. Chibashira. Chibashira. Chibashira looked at Horikita Suzune with an incomprehensible look. She always felt that Horikita had her shadow on her body. But I don't seem to be as straight as the other person. So, Chibashira said. Horikita, you probably have no friends. Horikita Suzune. Horikita Suzune looked at Chibashira. It seems to be saying that you specifically asked her to come here just to say this. Huh. However, Chibashira took a deep breath at this time. Horikita, who is the man behind you? I want to know, Chibashira said. Oh. Horikita understood the sentence, but actually couldn't understand it at all. She glanced back. There is nothing behind. So. Because of men. What man? When school was over, the man behind Horikita went to the student union. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 74. However, he didn't go to ask the student council if he had anything to do, but specifically came to name Horikita Gakuin. Chapter 061. You didn't even give him a vacancy, but you still approached him. Are you being despicable, Sakayanagi Arasu? Oreki went to the student union. He found that he could meet different people every time he went to the student union, and this time, when he opened the door of the student union, he saw his classmate Yasuhei Katsuragi. But I finally met Horikita Manabu in the student union. Oreki-san. Katsuragi was passing by the aisle of the student union holding documents. His position in the student union is secretary. Currently, I am working under the guidance of Senior Tachibana Akane, and he learns very quickly, which makes Tachibana Akane feel that her work is really lightened, so she is a good helper. However, Katsuragi himself knew that his position as secretary of the student union was bought. 1 million points is a bit expensive for freshmen, but it is undeniable that becoming a member of the student union is a valuable thing. Not only the status of your class can be improved, and you can also use your identity as a member of the student union to get a lot of information in advance. This increases the chance of winning in class competition. Certainly. The most important thing is the position of Student Council President. The Student Council President is the one who stands at the top of all students, and after Katsuragi entered the Student Council, he learned something very important. That is, the Student Council President has the authority to intervene in the monthly special examinations of the 3 grades. The Student Council President does not know the content of the exam, but the Student Council President has the authority to adjust the evaluation scores awarded by the school for each exam. In other words, for example, in this time's customary special examination, the school gave the Student Council President a score of 50-200 points. The President of Students has the right to decide the reward or penalty points for on-the-spot examinations for each grade. You can choose 50 or 200 points. That is to say, it can be done privately. Suppose there is a big gap between the Student Council President's class and the class below. Then you can use the authority of the Student Council President. Choose a very low score for each exam, so that even if the lower class is very strong, it can only get a small score in each exam. In this way, you can maintain the advantages of your own class. And this is what Katsuragi wants to see most. This is in line with his steady style of maintaining the advantages of Class A. At the same time, it doesn't matter if the Student Council President's class lags behind other classes and the gap is relatively large. You can maximize your exam scores. In this way, you can catch up with your score in just a few exams. In this way, are there not many operations that can be performed? The school will not participate. In other words, this is the authority of the Student Council President, which can greatly affect the class competition of the entire school. So tempting, right? Then become the Student Council President yourself. This is truly the supremacy of strength. After Katsuragi found out, he sighed in his heart. Although he doesn't have that kind of confidence, but even if it is a small hope, I will be excited if I have the opportunity to compete for the next Student Council President. So Katsuragi was very grateful to Oreki for bringing him in. But he also felt strange, wouldn't Oreki-san not have the opportunity to be so close to the water tower? Then when Yuzusaka Yanagi was nominated by Horikita University to join the student union, he did not hesitate to give up the identity of the accountant of the student union to Kitojun. So he didn't quite understand what these two people were thinking. Did something happen? Katsuragi saw Oreki coming to the student union office and immediately walked over to say hello. Oreki-san is a unique person. Oreki joined his clique, but was also very close to Sakayanagi Yuzu. So it is centrist. However, Katsuragi still hopes that people with keen insights like Oreki-san can support him and help carry out the advantages of Class A to the 3rd grade. This way everyone can have a better future. So he also wanted to gain favor with Houtarou Oreki. I'm here to see President Horikita, Oreki said. Let him take it to the chairman to handle the matter. Profound. Katsuragi nodded. So, are you looking for something to do with the chairman? Doesn't the chairman have higher authority? So what are you going to do? Although he didn't want to take advantage of her, everyone knew that Oreki-san was very popular in school. And his ideas are also very wild and out of the box. If you can be given a hand, everyone will benefit a lot. So, even yesterday's speech on the forum where someone threw a test paper was also concerning. If everyone suddenly realizes that they are buying old test papers, what if someone leaks the questions? Everyone is going to GG. Therefore, Katsuragi himself stared at Nagamo-senpai for a long time today. And now, what new ideas does Oreki-san have? Only. Oreki-san needs to see the chairman. However, Katsuragi himself is trembling when facing the student council president, and he doesn't dare to think about contacting the chairman or anything like that. So he stepped aside and started seriously doing what he had to do as a newcomer. "You're here." Horikita Manabu was reading documents when he heard the sound and raised his head. His right hand is holding a pen, as if giving instructions. "It's okay, just finish the documents first," Oreki said. "My business is not urgent." But Horikita Manabu looked away from the document. "Since you're not in a hurry, how about helping me with my work?" Horikita Manabu said. "I'm going to finish this amount today." Horikita Manabu folded the unprocessed documents next to him into a pile. Total is 17 centimeters high. It makes people look terrible. But the message conveyed was even more terrifying. There are Akane Tachibana, Katsuragi, and second-year Class B Vice President Kiriyama in the Student Council office. As for Nagamo, after he was demoted, he became a less important accountant of the student union. Sakayanagi arranged for Kato to come over and occupy the identity of a student union accountant. So he is Nagamo's junior. Nanyun went to teach people. So there are not many members staying in the student union today. However, upon hearing this, these members almost all looked over. Because Chairman Horikita is saying something terrible. What you are looking at now is a document that only the student council president has permission to read. So, do you want Houtarou Oreki to read it too? Do you mean that Oreki Houtarou is strong enough to handle these documents, or do you want Oreki Houtarou to become the next student council president? No matter what it means, it makes people care. Vice President Kiriyama pretended to be relaxed and focused on the work in front of him. He used to be a student in Class A, but unfortunately, he was overtaken by Na-Yun at the end of last semester, and then Na-Yun also took control. So he was in an awkward position. Even being brought into the student union by President Horikita was used to contain Nagamo, but he failed to put it to use. But now Na-Yun's position in the student union is lower than him. There are also voices among the students in the class that they want to rebel against Nagamo and take back their place in Class A. Therefore, he is not completely unambitious here. Horikita Manabu is the student council president and he is the vice president, so he still has a chance to be the next student council president. But now, President Horikita is interested in first-year students. So will this first grader refuse? Kiriyama knew that Katsuragi's position as secretary was something Oreki Houtarou didn't want. So his attitude is, "There's no need for this," Dan Oreki said. "I'm not the student council president." Rejected outright. Tongshan. Kiriyama breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at it this way, Oreki senpai has no ambition to become the student council president. He. But Horikita Manabu seemed to smile. He has his own understanding. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 75. He thought he might have discovered why Oreki didn't join the student council. Because it's too busy. Oreki doesn't like trouble. The information I got from Katsuragi-kun is that Oreki doesn't complete homework during class, and he doesn't even take textbooks back. But Katsuragi-kun wanted to hold a study meeting, and then some papers were published, and Oreki-san got full marks directly. In other words, this guy is an energy-efficient person. So Oreki is not interested in the position of student council president because he is too busy as the student council president. Certainly. It cannot be denied that if someone could help with the work, Oreki might not refuse. The opponent has been collecting 20 million points. They probably got it together yesterday at Nagamo's place. So Horikita Manabu probably knew what Oreki wanted to do with the chairman. 20 minutes later, Horikita Manabu followed Oreki to the chairman's office. The chairman's office is a separate 3-story building. The first floor is the office area, and the second floor is the reception hall. As for the third floor, sometimes he is too busy with work, so he will stay directly in the lounge on the third floor. Therefore, the chairman is also a very diligent person. Oreki updated his views on the chairman. He came to Horikita Manabu today for only one purpose, to exchange points for cash. This is a side reward of the main quest. Main mission -20 million points battle. Task requirement, collect 20 million points in 3 months. Task reward, superpower physique, physical transformation, has been obtained. Current progress, the task has been exceeded. Private account points, 20,327,500 points. Remarks, all the points earned by the host can be entrusted to Horikita Manabu, who is about to graduate in 3rd grade, and they are absolutely guaranteed to be converted into cash. Are you sure you want to convert the points directly into cash now? Horikita Manabu said. You need to stay in this school for 3 more years. If you have enough points on hand, it's still very comfortable. When you graduate, you don't have to pay to convert your points into cash. What Horikita NII is talking about here is the convenience of having points that can be used flexibly to avoid punishment or bribe others. And like the points in Oreki's hand, probably no one in the school can refuse. So this is a very important card. I don't like to wait for so long. It's better to just settle down, Oreki said. As long as the chairman agrees to my application, then President Horikita can also take advantage of this ride. Get the cash first. Am I? Horikita Manabu paused. According to the school's rules, the school will acquire graduates' points in proportion when they graduate. This is to prevent older students from transferring points to lower grades, allowing them to gain for nothing, or causing confusion. This is a school rule. This is also a rule that only 3rd graders are told. But just like all the head teachers will tell their students when they enroll in school, as long as they have points, they can buy anything in this school. Then this regular rule can also be changed using points. So you generally need to graduate to convert points into money, but you can do it right now by spending points. This is an understanding and practical application of school rules. Although there is no precedent, Horikita believes that the chairman will agree. But there is a price to pay. So you can really transfer the points to Oreki first, and then convert them into money and put them in your pocket first. In this way, you only need to spend one amount to exchange points for 2 people. But Horikita Manabu shook his head. I'd better wait, he said. Graduation is less than a year away. Profound. So good luck to you. Oreki-san remained calm. President Horikita is a very diligent person and also a very fair person. Obviously he had some savings in his hands, but they were not converted into money in the end, which showed that if the class was short of numbers, he might even take out all his savings. To him, class of the 3rd grade is very important, friends, it is very important. And it can be seen from this that he is actually a person who values emotions quite a lot. So when I found out that my sister was placed in class D when she entered school, I wanted her to drop out of school because I was worried that my sister would eventually be harmed by the rules of this school. It's just that Horikita Manabu didn't dare to convert the little savings into cash first. This means, President Horikita, you have a weakness. You don't have absolute confidence at the last moment. And isn't this a sign of understanding that the students in the class cannot hold their position in Class A? So, if you don't drop out of Nagamo before graduation, then this will become Nagamo's weak point in attacking you. Oreki Houtarou thought in his mind. Creak. However, the two walked towards the office, only to find that the office door was pushed open from inside. It was Chairman Sakayanagi with silver white hair. His hand rested on the door. The chairman is still the same as before. He looks very energetic in suits and ties. He wears black framed glasses and short silver white hair. He looks tall and gentle. He opened the door himself. However, he is not alone. A super cute girl with straight silver hair walked out. Looks cute and adorable. He is not tall and wears a white silk suspender belt. It seems that it is difficult to move around, so I need to hold a cane. But this person is an acquaintance of Oreki-san. My neighbor is Yuzo Sakayanagi. Judging from his actions, the chairman seemed to be opening the door for Sakayanagi Arisu, who was in poor health. As soon as the chairman's door opened, people from both sides came face to face. Sakayanagi Arisu. Oreki-san. Neither side looked sideways. Sakayanagi Yuzo held the cane and walked away a little without stopping. And Oreki-san didn't have any intention of calling him back. Chairman, Oreki-kun, I have something to ask of you. And Manabu Horikita was even more focused. As the student council president, he knew very well that the chairman's daughter was admitted to school this year. Assigned to Class A. Moreover, because of work, Horikita Manabu needs to come to the board of directors frequently to report on the situation. So he actually met Sakayanagi Yuzu more than once. But Horikita Manabu himself is a very fair person. He didn't think the chairman acted favoritistically by placing his daughter in Class A. Therefore, Sakayanagi Arisu could hardly be rated in sports, and she was eventually placed in Class A. This should be because the school rated her highly. And Manabu Horikita also confirmed Sakayanagi Yuzu's operation within the part-time work authority. So when Oreki actually took the initiative to criticize Nagamo, he pointed out the identity of the accountant of the student union to Sakayanagi Yuzu. Rather than borrowing flowers to send to the Buddha, it was actually an expression of affirmation of Sakayanagi Arisu's strength. However, although they were students in the same class, Oreki and Sakayanagi Yuzu looked quite strange. Is it a bad relationship? He thought they had a good relationship. Is the information provided by Katsuragi-kun wrong? The chairman glanced at his daughter who was walking away, and then looked at Oreki-san. Oreki-san, what do you want to do today? I'd like to redeem my points for cash in advance. In other words, I want to get money, Houtarou Oreki said. And it's cash. Chairman Sakayanagi. The chairman pursed his lips. You make me feel new every time, said the chairman. It should be said that they are indeed a family. Sometimes the words spoken by Chairman Sakayanagi are exactly the same as those of Yuzo Sakayanagi. Both are the type who are interested in other people. However, Sakayanagi-san is a very aggressive Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the chairman seems much gentler. Generally speaking, points can only be redeemed when you graduate. Other situations are prohibited, said the chairman. But since you're here, it doesn't hurt to give me a chance. Since this is the first time I proposed it, you can get this permission by submitting 300,000 yuan. As the chairman, the school will monitor students' private accounts. Of course, because of the existence of point cards, this private account appears to be relatively distorted. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 76. However, some abnormal or supernormal phenomena can still be observed. But Oreki Houtarou did not use point cards. His private account has reached 20 million. No one in the school has collected 20 million points alone, and the effect of getting 20 million points is also very strong. You can avoid the penalty of dropping out of school, and you can also directly apply to jump to the class you want. In other words, if you are in the lower class, you can go directly to class A by submitting 20 million. Cling to Class A's lap and fly together. But what if you are in the upper class? Then there's no need to jump. You are in Class A yourself. There is no place to jump. Could it be that you want to jump to Class A of the 3rd grade who graduated this year? In the morning, Chairman Sakayanagi is still discussing with the board of directors how Oreki-san will use the 20 million. Then some people asked whether it would be allowed if Houtarou Oreki proposed to directly use 20 million to apply to jump to Class A of Horikita Academy when this class graduates. Result: Oreki-san gave everyone different answers. He wants to exchange it for cash. If you graduate from Class A of a Kyosei High School, you can be admitted to the university of your choice without exams or tuition. If you directly apply for a job, you will be offered a position according to your wishes. So it's like reaping a bright future. In the end, Oreki-san chose to ask for money. It's like the school is being looked down upon. But it can't be said that he is a student of Class A. If the class graduates as Class A, he can also enjoy the benefits of the school. At the same time, this can be regarded as an insurance. Being able to stay in this school is not free. The school will conduct various examinations and various choices. Therefore, it is difficult to say whether the points in hand will be useful in the end. The school collects points from graduates and gives an exchange ratio of 0.8. And Oreki Houtarou took out 20 million points, which means that they can be exchanged for 16 million in cash. In other words, in any case, regardless of whether he graduated from Class A or dropped out of school, Houtarou Oreki had a way out. He picked up 16 million in cash for nothing. 16 million in cash can be worth a house outside. It can also bring a long period of buffering in life. Overall, this isn't a bad choice. Are you sure you've made this decision? The chairman took Oreki to the studio on the 1st floor, where staff responsible for exchanges were already present. Yet Oreki nodded. But he looked at Horikita-san. But Horikita brother finally shook his head and chose not to take this ride, but planned to redeem his points honestly when he graduated. He believes that when he graduates, he still has points in his hand, and even if the points return to 0 at that time, everyone can graduate as Class A, which he thinks is acceptable. Beep. Oreki handed over his phone, and after a while, an update appeared on his private account. Name: Houtarou Oreki. Student ID: 100-861-0010. Class: Grade A, 1st grade. Private account: 27,500 points. What a wonderful sight, Chairman Sakayanagi said. Do you feel bad when you walk away with 20 million? You have been working hard to save for a while, right? It's indeed a bit distressing. More than 20 million, quickly returned to less than 100,000. There is a feeling of instant poverty. But what appeared in front of Oreki were 1,610,000 banknotes. Oreki-san doesn't think it makes sense to collect so many points. Because there are many rules in this school, and even Horikita Academy has not yet fully mastered them. Therefore, there is also the possibility of capsizing in the gutter. At the same time, points can only be used in school and have limitations. But after it is turned into money, it can be used directly outside. I believe everyone understands how to choose. As for becoming poor or something like that, what will happen if I buy the permission to exchange points? Oreki-san said. The school conducts special examinations every month and students drop out. Then, according to what the chairman said, if you are facing withdrawal from school, then the points held by those who drop out will be taken away directly by the school. But what happens if the points are transferred away early? They transfer their points to me and I have early redemption access to convert their points into cash. Then we charge 30% to 50% of the fee. Of course, they can refuse, but then they won't get a dime. Does the chairman think this is doing business? Oreki-san was a little curious. Chairman, Are you asking if this is business? You are asking whether you can challenge school rules. Okay. The chairman confirmed that Arasu's class will no longer be boring. Oreki-san is a person who brings new ideas to others. So he refunded Oreki the 300,000 points he spent to redeem the points in advance. Let the points in Oreki-san's private account not be too ugly. Dong dong. Oreki and Horikita Manabu left the chairman's office half an hour later. Although the authority to buy points and exchange them for money was blocked by the chairman. But Oreki was not depressed. It would be better to say that the chairman was reasonable and had met his expectations. Moreover, the chairman will directly refund 300,000 points, which is a bit, well, it makes people think that he is easy to talk to. It's like giving it for free. This is different from his daughter. Then, Oreki Houtarou originally came here with only Horikita Manabu and his mobile phone. But when I went back, I was carrying a school bag. All students board in the school, and each student is assigned a dormitory. This is very convenient. The 16 million banknotes were all placed in the school bag. Do I need to apply for a safe? Horikita said. Horikita brother pushed up his glasses. A safe costs 50,000 points and can be used to store valuables. Of course, ordinary students probably won't need it. Although his own points were not converted into money, he had a visual impact when he saw 16 million in cash. At the same time, he also realized that it might not be safe to leave so much cash casually in the dormitory. There is a special safe in the student union. No need. Oreki shook his head. He is not an ordinary student. He goes home every day and just keeps the money at home. No matter what happens, he can go to a bank outside to save money. However, Horikita-san is indeed an honest and good person for bringing this up. Horikita-san has been in some trouble recently. Oreki-san then told Horikita Suzun that Chibashira asked Horikita Suzun to fly to Class B with Class D. Really, Chibashira-sensei Horikita Manabu pushed up his glasses upon hearing this. You did very well. But my third grade has reached an important period, so I don't have any more points to give you for the time being, Horikita Manabu said. If it can be confirmed that I will graduate as Class A, and I still have some points in my hand at that time. Oreki. Nope. Brother Horikita, he never thought of asking for your money just now. And the other side. Oreki-san finished exchanging points and the chairman was about to go upstairs, only to find a silver-haired girl sitting in his office. She sat there with her cane aside, as if she had been waiting for a long time. Arasu, haven't you gone back? Sakayanagi Yuzu is his daughter, and she has been in poor health since she was born. Especially the heart. Have congenital heart disease. This disease is very troublesome. It could not be operated on when she was a child. The only hope is that she will grow up a little and then try to operate. However, the success rate of the operation is only 50%. So it's a difficult question. However, there are options to avoid surgery. But it is very demanding on the body. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 77. Any physical activity is absolutely prohibited. This was also his requirement to allow his daughter to come to the school, and she was not allowed to participate in any sports activities. At the same time, he regularly reports on his health status. And today I came here to show him how he looked. I'm a little curious, Yuzu Sakayanagi said. Father, what did Oreki-san want to do when he came to you? Oh, well, I didn't reveal our parent-child relationship to Oreki-san, the chairman said. Sakayanagi. Isn't that what she asked about? And Oreki-san probably knows about it? Otherwise, I wouldn't have sent her a message asking about the chairman's character. Sakayanagi Arasu. But my father's answer meant that he wanted to take care of business. Right. She knew that her father was very tolerant, but he also had a bottom line. Refuse to answer. Beep. And when I returned to the dormitory with a bag of money on my back. Oreki heard the system beep. Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden side mission, destroying Chibashira's ambition. Congratulations to the host for receiving the special reward. Instant movement ability is improved. The teleportation ability is improved, and the restriction of teleportation to the places you have been to is lifted. You can go directly if you have specific longitude and latitude, or have seen photos of the real thing. Beep. Now. Oreki-san crossed his arms. Yesterday, he used Horikita's mobile phone to contact Chibashira, doubly defeating Chibashira's ambition. Make her feel frustrated. However, this ruthless person who started from Class D and then brought the class to Class B seems to have a line of defense in his heart. So Oreki was thinking about whether to attack again tomorrow. Result. Now, here it is. Was Chibashira himself destroyed by himself? Oreki-san's mood was complicated. This teacher from Class D is indeed different. But he looked at the system prompt box. It has been detected that the host still has unused abilities. Superpower transformation. Do you want to use it now? Superpower physical transformation. All aspects of the body's abilities are improved and automatically planned into the most complete body. It takes 3 days and 3 nights. This ability is a reward for completing 20 million points. This is also what Oreki wants. But 20 million has been converted into cash, and the system rewards have not been used yet. No, keep it, Oreki said quickly. Yuchin High School has the same holidays as other schools, with 5 days of study and 2 days of rest. Then sometimes it is occupied on Saturday or Sunday. So if you want to transform your body with superpowers, you have to set aside time for it. Oreki is still a little self-conscious and always feels that he is a little weak, so if he can be transformed, he still wants it. And that day, President Horikita wanted his sister to drop out of school, but when he found out that he, a third person, was present, he attacked her twice in succession. Even though Oreki teleported, he avoided both of them. But he was deeply impressed by the president's supremacy in force. Because you are the student council president, you talk about strength, but in the end you use force. However, a person's ability to use force is also his own talent. It would be unfair to deny it outright. For example, Ryuan-san of Class C, when he arranged for Kushida-san to trick the students of Class C into opening a store, wasn't it true that Ryuan-san of Class C was talking about using violence to win over everyone? And Class C was really gathered like this. So, this is also a kind of strength. Oreki-san was slightly interested. The school requires students to be fully closed, but it also provides all kinds of commercial streets. So there are also gyms for exercising. However, he had the past experience of being stared at by women when he went to the gym, so he felt a little embarrassed. So, today's task is to carry home all the money in the backpack. Going to school can make money, going to school can make you rich, and going to school can make your school bag full of money. I like going to school. Use teleportation, go home. Yes. After entering his dormitory, Oreki put down his phone and returned to his home. Noon the next day. Because superpowers are so convenient, Oreki uses them every day to get back to home and school. And when it comes to taking a lunch break, he has many choices. I can do something different from all students, go home and eat. But Oreki-san basically still chooses to have lunch at school. After all, it takes time to make your own lunch, and it also takes time to make a bento. As long as he brings the bento he made, the girls will come close to him, and in the end, part of his share will be eaten. He's not very good at dealing with this kind of situation. Therefore, we generally choose to dine in the same way as ordinary students. Go directly to the canteen during lunch break. Beep. The pigeon soup, braised eggplant, pumpkin pie, and New Orleans spicy wings you ordered are ready. Swipe your student ID card for 1,600 points. Beep. Oreki took his phone back. He also brought a prepared dinner plate, but he was just about to leave when he stood firm. Because a tall girl with long purple hair and 2 hairpins appeared in front of her. This is Maisumi Kamuro, a girl in the class. The past was his tool man. But now it's Sake Inagi-san's crutch. And the fact that Kamuro-san appears here means, Sake Inagi-san is looking for him. Oreki. When he comes to dine in, he doesn't have a fixed seat, but Sake Inagi-yuzu is very particular about it. Her position is fixed. Although there are many students in this school, people from the Sake Inagi faction in class A will hold a special seat for her. So it's convenient every time. Oreki also received a message from someone like Hashimoto-san offering to help hold seats. But he doesn't like this troublesome thing. And Sake Inagi-san occupies a table with booths for 4 people. Then 4 people can eat together. This saves one person the hassle of having to take a seat. So he often borrows her desk. Today, Kamuro-san deliberately stood behind him, that is to say, Sake Inagi-san had something to say to him. It's May 16th now. There are still 8 days until the regular written test on the 24th. But basically all the students in the school have bought the papers from previous years, so this time the exam will be free of points. From this perspective, this school is actually quite mild. Although he was inspecting the students, he would also put some water in to appease them. There is a degree of relaxation. Because everyone has test papers, this time the exam is a matter of getting free points and then how many points you get. A score of 100 points couldn't interest Oreki, nor could Yuzu Sake Inagi care about it. So Oreki didn't think Sake Inagi came to him specifically for this kind of thing. Could it be that I saw her coming out of the chairman's office yesterday? Do you think the identity of the chairman's daughter has been exposed? And feel nervous? It's just that Oreki doesn't think Sake Inagi-san would care about this. Rather, she is a pretty aggressive little Tyrannosaurus Rex. If someone wants to use this direction to attack, then she will hit back 10 times. Moreover, he is also a student in Class A and has already earned 20 million points, which makes him somewhat wealthy. Then naturally there is no need to work so hard. Yes. He still felt that Sake Inagi-kun was the most suitable person for such a troublesome task as leading Class A for 3 years. But this little Tyrannosaurus Rex never took the initiative. So Oreki's attitude towards her was also very subtle, but there was no reason to attack her. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 78. Could it be that she was worried because she didn't express her attitude? So he asked Kamuro-san to sit in the booth and cook. Oreki put down the dinner plate and sat on the opposite side of Sake Inagi Arisu. Actually, I think Sake Inagi is a genuine student of Class A. Even if his body is a little unsatisfactory, overall he is still a genuine student of Class A, Oreki said. Really, Sake Inagi-san probably didn't expect Oreki to say that on his own initiative. But she still showed a cute expression to save face. She blinked slightly. However, I think it would be better if I was placed in another class. This way we can compete with Oreki-san. For example, when you take this kind of regular exam, you can be a little more crazy. Leaking the topic has caused panic among the students in the school. But I prepared the questions in advance and submitted them to the student union, and asked the student union to submit them to the school. Then I leaked the questions to the students. So even if one set of papers is leaked, students still know about another set of papers, and then the school will take another set of papers to prevent a large number of dropouts. This is equivalent to not leaking the question. The only difference is that at the expense of this, I can get the voting rights of the next student council president from the panicked students. So, it's a pity that we are on the same side, We are all students of Class A, Sakayanagi Yuzu said. So there's no way to enforce this strategy. That is to say, because both parties are students in the same class, there is no need to be so extreme. Is the student council president? I've seen Horikita-senpai work very hard, Oreki said. I'm not interested in the position. But if Sakayanagi-san wants to run for office, I might be able to help canvass votes. Kamuro-san on the other side sat on the inside as usual. She cooked with an expressionless face. She felt disgusted that Oreki and Sakayanagi Yuzu were discussing the topic of leaking test paper questions. Or, she thought it would be better to concentrate on the food and not hear anything, because do you really want to do such a painful thing? If the question is leaked, yet. Although she had been tutored and could not fail, she would still feel uneasy about taking out the test again. So although he usually followed these two people expressionlessly, Kamuro-san felt that he might need to strengthen his heart strength. But she also understood the reason why Sakayanagi Arisu didn't go to the student union before. The result was that, she wanted to be the student union president. Yes. Sakayanagi Arisu's possessiveness and aggressiveness are so strong that it's impossible for him to become an accountant in the student union. Her target is the student council president. And this guy Oreki is also scary. If Sakayanagi Arisu wants to be the leader and he canvasses for votes, will he be willing to help? And if Sakayanagi Arisu becomes the student council president, what do you want to be? Or what do you want to gain at the cost? Because he heard the terrible news, Kamuro-san decided to continue to concentrate on cooking. However, Sakayanagi quickly turned the topic to Oreki's student ID card points. Your plan has become cheaper. Are you losing weight? Sakayanagi Yuzu looked at the dinner plate brought by Oreki Houtarou. She had dined with Oreki many times, and Oreki-san used to be expensive and high-end, the type who would not treat her badly. Even desserts are prepared. But now, there is no dessert. The points are getting smaller. Since Sakayanagi-san has expressed his ambition to become the student council president, it is possible that by helping him, he can be rewarded with taking on the responsibility of Class A. So Oreki was still willing to talk to her. And after sitting over, she kept looking at you with a very cute expression. This is already using girls' weapons. Very excessive. Oreki said. I converted most of the points into cash. The points on my student ID card are less than 500,000. As for the school's points, what do you think, Sakayanagi-san? If you have 20 million points, will you choose to hold 20 million points or will you hold the corresponding cash? Oreki was a little curious. Sakayanagi Yuzu is probably one of the few people in this school who has similar ideas to him, but is also super smart. Me. Sakayanagi Yuzu seemed to think for a moment. Probably cash then. Because although the students have been imprisoned here for 3 years, everyone has to use cash in the past and in the future, right? So, don't you think they will become more sincere if you just give them cash? In other words, it is more direct to use money directly, and it can also touch people's hearts more. After all, points are points. Although it can be purchased and consumed. But the feeling of holding real money in your hands is very different. As expected of you. Oreki-san then understood that Sakayanagi-san was also an ambitious person. After lunch, Oreki left the cafeteria. I sent a message to contact Horikita Suzune. The conversation with Sakayanagi Arisu was to express that he had no hostility toward her. And she also gave an interesting answer. But although cash is good, points are still used in this school. His account only has 320,000 yuan, which is a huge amount of money to other freshmen, but to him, he has embezzled the money of the person who transferred 1 million yuan before. Therefore, if the other party really makes any excessive demands, then the points must be returned to the other party. In this way, Today's goal is to get this 1 million first. When it comes to making money, Oreki-san has always been very focused. Directly contact Horikita-san, the person who knows how to use efficient tools. Watching Oreki-san leave. Here in the cafeteria. Because Sakayanagi moves slowly, Kamuro usually waits for Sakayanagi to make his move. But today, Sakayanagi had no intention of leaving immediately. She sat in her original position. His handsome brows were slightly furrowed, as if he was thinking about something important. By the way, are you really interested in the position of student council president? Kamuro Maesumi said. Sakayanagi Arasu. Sakayanagi. Sakayanagi Arasu. Sakayanagi-san. I'm listening, Kamuro-san, but don't you know that pretending not to hear means you don't want to answer, Sakayanagi Yuzu said. Profound. It turned out that I didn't want to answer her. Kamuro-san thought that she should make a note in her notebook first, since she was always available when called. But Sakayanagi actually wanted to ignore her. Kamuro-san feels that it is humiliating now, and she will repay her if she gets the chance one day. Only. Wasn't it the topic of the student council president that Sakayanagi and Oreki were talking about just now? And what more important topic was Sakayanagi thinking about just now? Or is there any more important topic than becoming the student council president? Could it be because Oreki Houtarou's current points count is less than 500,000? Hey, you guys are too Versailles, are you poor if you don't have 500,000 yuan? She only has less than 200,000 now, okay. But Sakayanaga's voice interrupted Kamuro-san's random thoughts. If I become the student council president, then I will specify that Kamuro-san be allowed to join the student council. Oh. Kamuro-san immediately looked over. She worked as a cow and a horse for Sakayanagi Arasu, so she didn't have the ambition of chickens and dogs ascending to heaven. If Sakayanagi Arasu joins the student union and becomes the student council president, then she will also be brought in as a member of the Sakayanagi faction. As for Kamuro-san, although his academic ability is not very good, his execution ability is very good. So I think I can give you the status of a student union pet. Maybe the previous student union did not have this position, but if I become the president, I will add it. This is specially reserved for Kamuro-san, Sakayanagi Yuzu said. The divine room. But Kamuro-san had a long face. Hee. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 79. Pets and Stuff. Kamuro-kun refused. However, Sakayanagi Yuzu continued. Then I'm going to use the authority of the student council president to give pets a raise. 100,000 points for 1 month, Kamuro-kun, but as a pet, you don't need to do anything. Don't you think it's a good position? Sakayanagi Yuzu became cute. But Kamuro-san kept a straight face. Hee. Do you think she will accept this? However, Sakayanagi Yuzu stopped teasing her. But Sakayanagi Yuzu said. Oreki-kun is such a bad person. He is guiding me to take the path of student council president. To be precise, he wants to lead me to become student council president. Then, when the time comes, I am afraid that the responsibilities of class A will be passed on to me. Oreki-kun is a person who doesn't like trouble. So put me on that high ground. I'm afraid you don't want me to lead class A. Profound. That's it? So Oreki Houtaru isn't making a contribution to class A? Although he was forced to become Sakayanagi Arasu's dog, the puppy Kamuro was still very sure of Sakayanagi Arasu's strength. The Katsuragi faction has many supporters, but Kamuro doesn't think Katsuragi can hold the class. Because being conservative is a way of doing things. But this approach is not safe. Sakayanagi told her that true safety is to take the initiative to attack and widen the distance to the point where the opponent cannot catch up no matter what. So, now Oreki Houtarou is doing his best, which makes Kamuro feel at ease as a classmate in Class A. Then after you become the student council president, will you name him as the vice president? Kamuro asked curiously. No, I won't let him join the student union, Sakayanagi Yuzu said loudly. I will make the student union a pragmatic place, but I will never let him enter the student union. Profound. So you actually hate Oreki Houtarou. If you become the student council president, you can nominate any position. Result. He stood so high, and then he wasn't even given a position. So why do you still keep in contact with him and sit next to him on purpose? Occasionally when she is distracted, she can see Sakayanagi-san also distracted. He was just watching Oreki-san next door in class. So Sakayanagi Yuzu is mean. Kamuro-san is confused. And the back seat. Behind the special booth with his back to Sakayanagi Arisu, a man sitting with his back to them pushed up his glasses. His presence has always been strong. But that was when everyone regarded him as the student council president. Today, Horikita Manabu has his back to them. As a result, Horikita discovered that his own sense of existence was actually very weak. Because he had been sitting here for half an hour, neither Oreki nor Sakayanagi Yuzu noticed him. Only. It's okay if you don't notice. He had already heard the conversation between Oreki and Sakayanagi Arisu. It was clear that he was still the student council president and could still serve for half a year, but both Oreki and Sakayanagi regarded him as a casual replacement. Complicated feelings. And neither of them seems to want to be the student council president yet. Don't you know? Nagamo dreams of becoming the student council president. Don't you know the authority that comes with being the student president? In the end, none of you were either? And is this the backbone of the next class of freshmen? What Naun wants is a tool for you to consider whether it is beneficial. In this way. While Brother Horikita was in a complicated mood, Oreki had already met the useful little sister Horikita again. Horikita-san is an honest person. When I call her, she appears on time. She was probably trotting over. She had straight black hair and black stockings, which were a bit sexy. Horikita-san is indeed a beauty. And Oreki discovered that he had just had lunch with the cutest girl in school today, and after dinner, he could meet the most beautiful girl in his grade. If word spreads, it will probably be envied by many boys. Think so? The phone vibrated. The transfer prompt that was automatically restored due to the restart sounded. Beep. 1 million personal points have been credited to your personal account, and the transfer party is unknown. This beep made Horikita Suzun pause for a moment after seeing Oreki standing and jogging over. Stand with your legs and look here. She seemed troubled. I'm considering whether to keep going. Because you are still so different, Horikita Suzun said. Obviously I said I didn't have enough points, and then I wanted to get 1 million to top it up first. But you're not short of money now, are you? Haven't you already made $1 million? Horikita-san felt that today was in vain. Oreki-san. He was probably in a daze for a while, so Oreki lowered his head to check the transfer prompt this time. Chapter 062. Does Ryuan-san already have points? Then start farming him. It is May 16th now, but it was May 1st. Something semi-troublesome happened to Oreki. Yes. Semi-troublesome. He is a person who doesn't like trouble, so he likes to do things as quickly as possible when they need to be done. But he had to bear a trouble. That is a transfer of 1 million points. On the first, someone transferred 1 million. The other party's information is unknown, his identity is unknown, even his gender is unknown, and his requirements are also unknown. The only thing that can be confirmed is the transfer note of the other party. You are mine, please stay safe for me during the 3 years you are in school. He looks almost like a yandere. At first glance, I thought he was a fanatical suitor. At that time, Oreki had a big plan of 20 million points, and the points transferred from the other party were judged to be valid by the system. At the same time, suddenly transferring such an amount, Oreki felt that if there was nothing important, the other party would not contact him. But something went wrong. He went to the chairman and couldn't bear the young man's first 20 million, so he converted all 20 million points in his account into cash. Which also includes this yandere's 1 million points. In other words, it is regarded as embezzlement of the other party's money. So this time Oreki wants to put the entire 1 million there. If the yandere-chan raises a difficult question, then naturally he will just return the money to her/him. It's just when I'm ready to spend the entire 1 million. Beep. 1 million personal points have been credited to your personal account, and the transfer party is unknown. With the phone vibrating and prompting, when you click on the transfer interface, you will find that another 1 million has arrived. Oreki. Last time it was a yandere note. And this time? Note, none. No remarks. So what does this 1 million mean? Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 80. Oreki glanced at Horikita-san, who was approaching. Horikita-san looked at him with a depressed expression. Because she was called out by him to earn 1 million together. As a result, haven't you already received 1 million? So Oreki-san clicked on his student ID card information. Name, Houtarou Oreki. Student ID 10086100010. Class, Grade A, First Grade. Private account, 1,325,200 points. However, just as he was looking at it, he noticed that the interface on the student ID card seemed to be flashing. Look closely. Name, Houtarou Oreki. Student ID 10086100010. Class, Grade A, First Grade. Private account, 2,325,200 points. Oreki discovered that the amount in his private account had changed and was updated. So he quickly clicked on the transfer record. 1 million personal points have been credited to your personal account, and the transfer party is unknown. Note, you can spend the money I give you however you want. And click on the previous transfer details of 1 million points. Remarks, none. In other words, it is not the same transfer. The other party transferred a total of 2 million. And the note is this. Let him spend the money as he pleases. If at first I thought that the other party might want to attract his attention and then use money to do something, but the thing to be done is more troublesome, so I gave him the money first. Then determine an appropriate time to speak out what you want to do. And this is what troubles Oreki. He doesn't want to be used as a tool. Therefore, as long as the other party puts forward conditions, he would rather return the points to the other party. But, note, you can spend the money I give you however you want. Well, even the rational Oreki-san now wonders if he is really being taken care of. If you just count the points in an ordinary way, it will make people feel uncomfortable. But you can spend the money I give you however you want. This kind of comment is like a pretty boy being raised. And this is not the kind that you don't accept when picking up or dropping off, but the other party gives it to you directly. No chance of rejection. I'll let you spend it directly, and it doesn't matter if you finish spending it. Being kept. Being taken care of. Oreki-san. It seems that I have to use my precognitive dream tonight. See if you can predict the identity of this yandere. Because it's too much. Suddenly use such money attack. This kind of offensive. Although the identity and gender of the other person were not confirmed, Oreki-san found that he wanted to imagine the other person as a girl, such as a senior sister or a big sister from a shopping mall. Oreki-san sighed and thought. He was actually shaken. Oreki, classmate. There was a voice on the other side, it was Horikita Suzune. Horikita-san. Okay, Horikita-san is indeed here. As soon as Oreki-san turned his head, he could see the other's beautiful profile. Horikita Suzune has beautiful eyes and long straight hair. But if you look carefully, you will find that she actually has a little braid. The overall outline of the braid is neat and cute. This shows that she has strong hands-on ability. Or the housework ability is also good. After all, when she saw the other person in her dream, she was obviously a lawyer, but she was also doing housework by herself. According to her, what she can do is done specifically to help people. She is not that delicate. So he's a pretty good guy. Oreki gently pressed his head to wake himself up from the influence of his recent dream. A dream is a dream, and the current Horikita Suzune is Horikita Suzune. After all, this Horikita Suzune would not give her husband a mug like an airplane. Rather, do you actually have fantasies about such a serious Horikita Suzune? Do you imagine that she is such a good woman who takes care of her family? Moreover, I was affected by the nurturing transfer note just now, and suddenly felt that girls are very cute creatures. This is not a good thing. Oreki. You can ignore this transfer for now. But the information I sent you is genuine. I don't have enough points, Oreki said. So I wanted to fill it in. Are you running low on points? Could it be because of Chibashira-sensei's affairs? Did you spend money? However, when Oreki said this, Horikita Suzune seemed a little weak. When she fought against Chibashira-sensei, her kung fu was broken instantly. She became the useless Horikita sister. But now teacher Chibashira no longer pesters her, and even looks a little autistic. Horikita-san knows very well that these are Oreki-san's contributions. But how exactly it was done, she didn't know. All she knew was that Oreki had borrowed her cell phone, but quickly returned it. But teacher Chibashira can detect the fact that she is the sister of the student council president, and teacher Chibashira was a fierce person who promoted Class D to Class B in the past. Both of these points show that teacher Chibashira is very fierce. It's hard to square. So to deal with such a person Oreki-san may have spent a lot of points. When she thought of this, Horikita's sister became weak. As Horikita's younger sister who was taken away, Horikita Suzune still knew that Oreki's points were in the tens of millions. And now he actually says he has no money. If the price is 10 million, then it is too high. Really? Horikita Suzune said. She bit her lip gently, maybe I'd better drop out of school. This way you don't have to spend so many points on me. I used to think that if I stayed in school and collected 20 million points my brother would recognize me. As a result, before the 20 million was collected, we already had 10 million in debt. Sure enough, my presence will only bring trouble to people. It's the same for my brother, and it's the same for you. Sister Horikita seems to be a little self-deprecating and a little autistic. I feel a little bit more about what Chibashira-sensei felt when he said these words. I don't know if I should go to the infirmary, Horikita Suzune said in frustration. The doctor in the infirmary is also qualified as a psychological counselor, so I'll go and consult him. Oreki looked at Horikita Suzune strangely, feeling that the other person was on two different channels than him. It's not even the same thing. Oreki often felt that Horikita and Chibashira-sensei were similar. So is Chibashira-sensei like Horikita Suzune, autistic? Anyway, I don't know what you mean by 10 million, Oreki said. The current examination cannot squeeze out 10 million. And my points are basically converted into cash. When graduates graduate, the school will recycle the points accumulated by the students in proportion. And I spent money to get this permission in advance, Oreki said. Is that so? After discovering that Oreki's points were spent like this, Horikita-san seemed to loosen the shackles in his heart. Become cooperative. Wait a minute, can the points in school be exchanged for cash? Horikita-Susan felt that she had grasped an important point. Why, do you want to exchange cash too? Oreki said. Then you are lucky. The chairman will not charge me for cash exchange. For it? No, I still want to collect 20 million points, but Horikita-Susan shook her head slightly. I want to collect 20 million to prove that I am not a waste and let my brother recognize me. I'm not trying to take advantage of this opportunity to make money.